Jess, there are many times in our Bay Area Proud series we focus on good deeds that really anyone can do. Tonight's a little different. It involves people going outside of their comfort zone to do something good for someone else. Well, in this case, with life-changing results. If this were your Berkeley home and you had a spare room, how would you find someone to rent it? An online ad? A flyer posted at the local coffee shop? Well, Robert Fletcher and Chen Wang found Joey Pagadawan in something of a non-traditional way, but one, as Joey puts it, that was nothing short of life-changing.
What they did for me is probably the single kindest thing that anybody's ever done for me.
Now, to understand why Robert and Chen renting a room to Joey is so special, well, you have to know who his last landlord was. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Joey spent 23 years there after being convicted as a teenager of second-degree murder.
I entered prison believing that, this was life. This is where I was going to spend the rest of my life.
But in 2020, Joey was released. And while he had done much work on himself to prepare himself for life outside of prison, he was understandably worried.
If I wasn't able to secure long-term housing for myself, it was a very real possibility that I could be on the streets.
But then Joey heard about Impact Justice's Homecoming Project. Starting in 2018, the Oakland-based nonprofit places those recently released from prison with those willing to rent to them for 6 months. People like Robert and Chen.
It's kind of about living your values. You talk about we want, the world to be a better place, but you're not really, a lot of people aren't willing to put themselves out there to, in awkward or challenging situations in order to make that happen. And, for us, I think it is about living our values. We're going to challenge ourselves to do things that make us uncomfortable.
But the couple felt less uncomfortable about bringing Joey into their home after learning more about the process. First, of course, is the vetting done by the parole board before an inmate is released.
It takes quite a long time.
Then, Homecoming Project Director Bernadette Butler says it's their turn.
They have to, on top of that, go through our own vetting process. That is before they even go through what we call a matching process, where hosts and participants meet each other.
Robert, Chen, and Joey say they knew not long after being matched that they'd be a good fit, but really had no idea how good. After the first 6 months, they asked Joey to stay, and he's now been living with them for 2 years. They even go on trips together. Robert and Chen said they wanted to do more than just talk about the causes they believe in. They wanted to do something. What they did was change all their lives for the better.
I mean, I think we've essentially added another family member.
They took me into their home. They trusted me with their family. And, that's something I can never repay.
I want to add one important statistic. Recidivism rates in prisons is a big problem. Some are 60, 70%. 180 inmates have gone through this program. 0 have gone back to prison.
Yeah.
So that's an amazing
thing. For the support and the trust that someone has in you.
And I know people watching are like, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could take somebody with that criminal history and bring him into my house with 2 young children. One of the responses is, if you find a roommate another way, through an online ad, through an Airbnb or something like that, there's no vetting. And you're really taking your chances. You don't know that person's history. Yes, you know this person has a criminal history, but they've been vetted, you've met them, and you found that you can probably do this. And people who go into this obviously have open hearts and big hearts to even participate in something like this.
But I think what he said was really valuable is when he said, they trusted me. When someone entrusts you, it's very hard to break someone's trust like that.
And you think somebody in Joey's situation who went into prison when he was a teenager and came out as a 40, he's never had to pay rent, he's never had to pay bills, he has never had to do any of this stuff. It could, as well-intentioned as he is leaving prison not to go back, you can see there's so many things he doesn't know that he could trip, stumble, fall, end up homeless, and then obviously it starts to spiral.
And to have a family to show you how to do it.
Yeah, it's a great outcome.
That's fantastic.